Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Heat versus Bulls play-in preview. Miami needs to slow the game down. The play-in tournament may as well be rebranded as the Chicago Bulls and Miami Heat Invitational. The Heat look to conquer the Bulls for the third straight time in the play-in, but this time around has a different vibe. The Bulls were 3-0 against the Heat in the regular season. Their red-hot offense shot flamed through a usually solid Heat defense. The regular season doesn't mean much when discussing postseason basketball. Heat and Bulls fans, in particular, know that better than anyone. If the Heat want to throw the regular season Bulls' woes out the window, they must start a rock fight. In 2 of the 3 meetings, the Bulls have controlled the pace and got the Heat into an up-and-down offensive-focused game. Kobe White is Chicago's usual vocal point. The Heat had success slowing him down in the matchups. White averaged 20 points, but getting there took every fiber in his bones. Davion Mitchell was one of the catalysts that held White to 39% from the floor and 20% from 3. Mitchell is consistently in White's airspace, never offering a second of Mitchell-less breath. Holding White well below his season efficiency, 60% true shooting versus 55% against Miami, will propel the Heat if they can slow down Josh Giddey. The Giddey and Alex Caruso swap was clowned in the summer, but Giddey is showing that maybe Chicago was right not to hand out any draft capital in the deal. He's turned it up a notch against Miami, though he's been a stat stuffer the second half of the season. 20, 10, 8, 45% from 3 over the last 25 games. Giddey averaged a triple-double against the Heat. The backcourt of Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson have been cones for the 6'8" Australian guard. More Haywood Highsmith can potentially slow down Giddey. Highsmith plays at an all-defense level every season. His versatility, length, and stability guarding the ball is a must-have in most rotations. He'll get the opportunity to play more and be a thorn in Giddey's side if he's knocking down the inevitable looks he'll get. The Heat offense is already shaky at best. If Highsmith isn't making teams pay for gapping off him, he's a tough play. In this one, because the Bulls will get shots up on the other end. Nikola Vucevic has been a key clog in the Bulls' 6th in scoring offensive explosion. He stretches the floor and can work in the post. On the other end, he's one of the poorest rim protectors. Opponents shoot 68% with him at the basket. Bam Adebayo, Kel'el Ware, and Tyler Herro need to capitalize on his shortcomings. Herro, like White, has had a career year but struggled against this team. The counting stats are there, but Herro's efficiency has been subpar. His shot selection has been more concerning than the results. Per cleaning the glass, only 5% of Herro's shots came at the rim versus Chicago this year. That's a disservice to the growth he's made as a player. Jimmy Butler clarifies Heat's draft pick situation after dominating for Warriors. The Miami Heat gained clarity on a number of fronts after Tuesday's first round of the play-in tournament, including an opponent for Friday and adding a second first-round pick. If the Heat beat the Bulls in Chicago on Wednesday night, they will face the Hawks in Atlanta on Friday after the Hawks lost to the Orlando Magic in the 7-8 play-in game on Tuesday. The winner of that game will advance to the playoffs as the 8th seed and play the top-seeded Cavaliers beginning at 7 p.m. on Sunday on TNT. The Heat are 2-2 against the Hawks this season and 2-1 since in the regular season since trading Jimmy Butler. Tyler Herro had 36 points, and Davion Mitchell, Haywood Highsmith, and Kyle Anderson combined for 37 points off the bench in the last matchup on March 27th. The Hawks struggled in their play-in game in Orlando, falling behind by as many as 22 early before cutting the deficit to single digits in the third quarter. But Atlanta unraveled after that and ended up losing by 29. Trae Young, who finished with 28 points on 8 for 21 shooting, was ejected after receiving consecutive fouls midway through the fourth quarter with his team down by 21. He received his second unsportsmanlike technical foul for kicking the ball away and making a mockery of the game as we were attempting to shoot the free throw for the first technical foul, official James Williams said via the Pool report. And by rule, When the player receives two unsportsmanlike fouls, he's ejected from the game. Frustration may play a factor if the Heat advance to play the Hawks on Friday. The Warriors will advance to the playoffs after their play-in win over the Grizzlies on Tuesday night. It also guarantees that the Heat will gain their pick in the first round of June's draft that came over in the Jimmy Butler trade. Butler scored 38 points in Golden State's win, while Stephen Curry finished with 37. I think any team has a chance when I'm on the team, but I know every team has a chance. If Steph's on the team, Butler told reporters after the game. The pick, which had been top 10 protected, will be either 18th, 19th, or 20th, depending on a random drawing among the Warriors, Grizzlies, and Bucks, who all finished with a 48-34 record. Miami will keep its pick in the first round if it loses in the play-in tournament this week, but will then owe an unprotected pick to Oklahoma City in 2026. If Miami advances to the playoffs, its pick will go to Oklahoma City this year. So the Heat will have at least one first-round pick in the top 20 of June's draft, and potentially two. Nikola Jovic, who has been out since February 23 with a broken bone in his hand, is listed as questionable ahead of Wednesday's game for the first time since the injury. He's done a lot of lifting and conditioning, Erik Spoelstra said. He looks great. Body fat is great. Last 2 or 3 weeks, he's been able to do considerable player development. Pelle Larsson and Kevin Love are also considered questionable. Larsson injured his ankle during a pre-game warm-up in Chicago last week, and Love has been away from the team for personal reasons. He's listed as questionable with a return to conditioning designation. Everyone else on the 15-man roster is available. Proposed trade lands Kevin Durant with Miami Heat. The Miami Heat is an all-star talent away from being back in the mix. Losing Jimmy Butler drastically lowered the Heat's ceiling in terms of being a contender. However, the return package for Butler solidified Miami's bench rotation, thus raising the team's overall floor. Now, Pat Riley must find a new all-star to lead the line for Miami. According to Bleacher Report's Andy Bailey, Kevin Durant could be the most logical trade target. Durant is expected to be available after the Phoenix Suns failed to make the postseason. In an April 14th article, Bailey shared his idea of what Miami's trade package could look like. Suns receive Andrew Wiggins, Duncan Robinson, a 2029 first-round draft pick, and a 2031 first-round draft pick. Heat receive Kevin Durant. Miami really does have what looks like a ready-made KD trade package with Andrew Wiggins' deal, which could be rerouted elsewhere if Phoenix wants to further the teardown. Duncan Robinson's expiring contract and multiple first-round picks, Bailey wrote. Durant, even at his age and with his injury history, is a significant short-term upgrade over Wiggins. And though Robinson has long been an important floor spacer for the team, the Heat have repeatedly proven capable of developing late picks and even undrafted rookies into useful rotation players. With KD, Adebayo, Harrow, and a supporting cast deployed by Erik Spoelstra, Miami could be a spoiler in the East. Durant is the type of all-star the Heat covet. If Miami could acquire him without losing Tyler Harrow or Bam Adebayo, they would be a legitimate threat next season. If Miami finds itself getting outbid in what appears to be an inevitable bidding war for Durant, Pat Riley could turn his attention toward Bradley Beal. John Gambadoro, a longtime sports radio talk show host of Arizona Sports 98.7 FM Phoenix, recently listed the Heat among a list of teams that could potentially be interested in the former All-NBA scorer. And I truly believe that, you know me, if I go out on a limb on something, I'm probably doing it for a reason, Gambadoro said on Burns and Gambo show on Saturday, April 13th. I don't see a scenario in which Bradley Beal can come back, Gambadoro continued. I'll take that guy for $15 million, Gambadoro said. I spoke with somebody in the NBA last night and I was like, okay, let's talk about where he's going to go. He said, Miami, Denver, Golden State, possibly San Antonio, and this is somebody that's in the know. And that's what he said to me, Miami and Denver, two teams that he could go to if there was ever a buyout.
And you fan? What do you think about Kevin Durant's situation? Write to us in the comments.